Once there was a little girl named Dorothy who lived with her Aunt Emma and Uncle Henry in a place called Long Island City. And they were hard-working, honest people, but they had fallen on hard times because they had lost their home to real estate developers. And now they were squatting in a railroad yard, and they suffered because their future was uncertain, as was the weather. The weather was bad because the big people who ran things had decided that money was more important than everything else. And when big people make bad decisions, they affect the whole world, and things turn upside down like the weather. Emma and Henry saw that a bad cyclone was coming, and they needed to take cover. But Dorothy couldn't get underground in time and had to hide inside the ramshackle house as the cyclone struck.
The house was carried into a magical realm where it landed with a jolt. Luckily, Dorothy and Pink Kitty were unharmed by the fall, but they realized they were no longer in Long Island City. She heard whispering from behind a tree, and she realized she was not alone.
Who are you and why are you hiding? We are the little people and we are afraid of you. I know which. Oh, but you are. You have killed the wicked witch from the Upper East Side. Right there at your feet.
The little people told Dorothy that they were the sapphire slippers, and they were the source of the Wicked Witch's great power. Dorothy looked down and saw right under her house there were a pair of skinny legs with sparkly shoes.
Who killed my sister? No, not Dorothy. I want those slippers. Linda, what are you doing here? I'm the protector of the little ones and all the good stuff. Who are you? I'm Dorothy from Long Island City, and we got these slippers fair and square. You better give me those slippers. You heard her. She got them fair and square. Now clear out of here, wait.
Dorothy explains to Glinda how she got here in the cyclone and asks for advice how to get back home. Glinda tells Dorothy that only the Wizard of New York knows such things, and she must consult with him.
Along the way, Dorothy and the Scarecrow looked pretty sad, so she asked her, why the long face? The Scarecrow told her she was unhappy because she had no education and everyone thought she was stupid. As much as the Scarecrow tried to do good things, she always failed. Dorothy told the Scarecrow that she was off to see the Wizard of New York. She suggested that she join her too, and see if the wizard would help her as well. So the Scarecrow and Dorothy set out to find the great and powerful wizard. Suddenly, they came upon a young lion crying to herself in broad daylight.
Why are you crying? Asked Dorothy.
The lion explained that everything lately gave her anxiety. She didn't know if it was the political climate, social media, or the crazy weather. Whatever the cause, she was a lion, and instead of being a queen of beasts, she was a big, blubbering mess.
Taking pity on her, Dorothy and the Scarecrow persuaded the lion to accompany them to see the wizard. With any luck, the wizard would be able to help the lion with her fears and dry up her tears.
Can they come with me, guys?
With that in mind, the three friends moved forward to change their fortunes.
my god, this!
Along the way, Dorothy and her friends came across a girl made of tin who was bound up by so much technology that she couldn't move. She had cell phones and tablets and hard drives and flash drives. She was just covered in tech. So Dorothy and her friends looked around for a key so they could unlock the tin girl from her bonds.
The Tin Girl explains how she once used to be a real person. The girl she loved was of another race, so the family didn't approve of her, nor of her addiction to technology. The parents were so upset that they hired the Wicked Witch of the East Side to curse her, turning the girl to tin and stealing her heart. The Tin Girl longed to have a human heart again, but now she was little more than a machine.
Because she was so sad, the friends persuaded her to join them on their quest, and perhaps the wizard could help her too.
You're all doomed. I'm not afraid of any witch. Me neither. I have a little present for you. You're never gonna get the slipper. You're never gonna reach the wizard.
Dorothy and her friends finally arrive at the Hall of the Wizard, only to find out he's no longer there.
Evicted? I don't even know what that means.
It means they kicked him out.
But he's the wizard. Dorothy couldn't believe that Glinda didn't know about the wizard's bad fortune. The Scarecrow couldn't believe they'd come all this way for nothing. The Tin Girl was disappointed that she'd never know love again. The Lioness started to have an anxiety attack and began crying because they didn't know what else to do. The friends then all started to blame each other and fight. Suddenly, they all noticed a strange fellow playing the violin near them.
Who are you?
Something strange and somehow wonderful.
Please tell us who the great wizard is. Me.
So after much searching and no little disappointment, the four friends finally found the wizard and explained their various problems. And he explained to them how the people of the kingdom no longer valued the old virtues of wisdom and kindness, and how the wicked witches had seized power and now oppressed the little people and even the planet, which is why the weather had become so bad. And they learned that while the wizard's power had been diminished, his knowledge was still great. The wizard explained to Dorothy that because she had the silver slippers, she had the best chance of defeating the witch.
You have the power. You have the slippers. You could be the witch and you can get the broomstick.
And if Dorothy could defeat the witch and return with her magical broomstick, the wizard could reverse much of the damage the witches had caused. With that broom, he could also solve their respective problems. And while this was not the answer Dorothy wanted, she undertook the grave responsibility the wizard gave her.
Unfortunately, the witch had the power of foresight, so she knew that Dorothy and her friends were coming. So she sent her minions, the flying monkeys, to ambush them.
Now the four friends knew they were heading into danger, but they didn't know from what direction it would come. When they saw the flying monkeys swooping down on them, it was clear, but it was also too late.
But the monkeys showed them no mercy and beat them down. The monkeys took Dorothy and the lion captive, bringing them back to the witch's evil lair.
Let me go, howled the lion.
Never, laughed the witch. When I'm finished with your friend, I'll turn you into a rug. Bring in that little brat. I'm feeling wicked.
The monkeys dragged Dorothy in. The witch demanded she surrender the slippers at once, but the girl refused.
I want those slippers!
Dorothy told the witch she had no right to the slippers, as the witches had so abused the kingdom and planet with their selfishness and greed.
You don't fool me! You want the slippers for yourself! You don't know how to use them. Yeah, I do. The wizard taught me. The wizard's a phony! You were really smart. You joined me. All right, fine. If you don't help me, I'll take matters into my own hands.
At this, the witch lost all control and conjured a fireball to burn the lion alive in her cage.
With the witch defeated, Dorothy and the lion returned to the forest to rescue their friends. Now reunited, Dorothy and the others went off to find the wizard.
With the power of the Wicked Witch's broom, the wizard was able to restore some of the old order of the kingdom and banish the cyclones to their natural element.
To the Scarecrow, the wizard presented a full scholarship to CUNY to study environmental science and restore his brain.
To the lion, he presented a pair of magical glasses which reveal the positive changes in human behavior. This would help with the lion's anxiety and restore his courage.
The Tate girl, the wizard charged with the protection and empowerment of the little people. This would help restore her heart. Alas, there was no simple solution to Dorothy's problem, for the power of the witch's broom was unable to affect matters outside the magic kingdom, so he was unable to send her home.
You could raise a rush. You could have this.
The wizard told Dorothy there was much good she could accomplish, as the silver slippers technically made her the witch of the magical kingdom. For a small girl, this was a big thing. She considered the wizard's offer, as doing good was always a noble cause.
Just then, Glinda the Good appeared with unexpected happy news for the unhappy Dorothy. The sapphire slippers had a little-known power in them that would allow the wearer to wish for anything, but this power could only be used once. Glinda advised Dorothy to consider this one wish carefully. Take what you have learned here and use it in your own world. Glinda told Dorothy to touch her heart, click her heels, and repeat the words, "Home is where you love and are loved." Home is where you love and are loved.
Home is where you love and are loved. Home is where you love and are loved. Home is where you love.
And so Dorothy used the power of the slippers to return home and to her family. And as she ran to them, she remembered the words of Glinda, and she smiled. For there was much to do in her own world, much that needed fixing, and while she no longer had the power of the silver slippers, Dorothy wasn't worried. For she had acquired wisdom, and the power of love was inside her, and armed with these, one can do much.
I'll get you, my pretty.